Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be potting up my baby rubber plants. If you haven't already seen and want to know how to do it, I've done a video on the propagation of the baby rubber plants probably about 6 or 8 weeks ago. You can find that in the houseplant playlist. But what I'm going to be doing is just combining the newer propagations with the mother plant and just giving them a bigger pot with some new soil. Now I will go ahead and show you what these propagations are looking like. You can tell that they have lots of new growth. The little baby leaves are so cute. And then here's the green version. But that last was the variegata and this is the green. And then also right here, we have a couple of black velvet alocasia that have popped up. So those were mixed in my moss accidentally because I do tend to reuse the moss. So I just need to combine those in with the rest of the black velvet, which I have in this container here. It's just a little semi-hydro setup, and if you're interested in seeing how that's done, there's also a video on that in the houseplant playlist. But as you can tell here, the leaves are getting freaking huge when they're in here and they have lots of humidity. So that truly is key if you want to have a nice alocasia with big leaves. Okay, moving on. First, we'll start with the variegata and just get this potted up really quickly. So they are currently in these smaller tapered 6-inch pots. And I'm going to move them up to an 8-inch pot. So first off, I'm going to take this pot here and just put a little bit of dirt into the bottom. And this is just kind of a semi-chunky mix. I use the same mix for all of my plants pretty much. Okay, and now that that's done, I'm just going to start pulling out the propagations and placing them around it. Oh. See, the roots have grown pretty nicely with these. I'm just going to carefully break this apart as best as I can. The moss is a little bit dry. It probably would have went a little bit easier if I had moistened it beforehand, but these were ready to be potted up, so I figured, you know what, before watering it again, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it into a pot instead of putting it off any longer. And they're breaking apart just fine. I'm not having any roots breaking, but it definitely is better on your plant if you're working with soil that's not bone dry or moss. So now that I've gotten these mostly broken up, I'm just going to try and pull off some of the excess moss. If it's stuck on there too much, I won't pull it off because I don't want to break the roots. When you're transitioning from moss to soil, sometimes it helps to have the moss around your new propagation because it's going to hold the moisture around it, so it's not going to dry out as quickly as it's adjusting to that new medium. And I'm actually going to place just a little bit more dirt underneath here. Oh, you can see one of the leaves did end up coming off of there and how it has roots. So this one was actually just beginning to root. The rest were already established. Okay, and now I'm just going to backfill. I'm just going to set this one to the side, and I'll come back and water it when we're done. And next we have the regular green version. So same deal here, I'm just going to pre-fill my pot a little bit. So I'm kind of debating whether I want to have this placed like more towards the back, or if I want to do it in the center and place all of the cuttings around it. I really don't guess it matters too much because they're going to catch up pretty quickly. I'll just do it in the center. Okay. So the moss in this one's a little bit more damp. These should come apart a little bit more easily. I'm able to get a lot more of that moss off of there when it is moistened. You can see how great these root systems are doing. So here are our Alocasia. I'm going to try and pry these out. I just broke the new growth off of that, but it has a root on there, so I'm going to stick it in the pot. It'll either make it or it won't. Alternatively, you don't necessarily have to separate your little propagations from your moss, you could actually just kind of take your whole sheet, sit it down on top of your soil, and they'll go down into the dirt that way too. So that's a much easier way to do it, but I would like to try and reuse my moss as much as possible. So yeah, by the way guys, if you didn't know, you can start a whole new plant of your baby rubber plant from just a leaf. So you just pop that leaf off of there and it's going to root straight from the end of that leaf. I'm going to take and pop these into any empty places I have here. So I'm going to sit these over here, and then really quickly I'm just going to pop these into this other propagation container just to keep everything together. This one, and again, let me see if I can show you guys better. That leaf is literally the size of my hand, if not bigger, which I'm so proud of. I have not had too much luck growing alocasias in the past. I think that I first got them last year, maybe the year before, but I figured it out now. After putting my plants outside last year, I pretty much figured out that all plants just want like humidity and bright indirect light for the most part. And then I'm just going to place a little bit more moss on top. Okay, so that is done and they're added in with the rest. And now I'm going to just water everything. Alright, so I've got the baby rubber plants all watered in, and you know, it's really great to see them at this size. I got both of these plants when they were a 4-inch plant. I think that there was a couple of stems in each of them that I got from a local grocery store, and that was about 2 years ago. So before I propagated them, they were each like just a couple of vines, and they're still, this one only had one. I think I lost the other one apparently at some point. But anyway, just propagated them, and now we have these 8-inch full plants. So it's great to see how these houseplants are progressing over the journey. I mean, it's been about 5 years since I first started growing houseplants pretty seriously, and the house is filling up quickly. A lot of the plants are actually starting to mature now. To begin with, I was little 4-inch small plants all over shelves in my house, and then eventually, you just start combining those and adding to your collection, and before you know it, you've got big plants all over your house. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Bye!